What would a great superhero be without his villains? Batman is known to have some of the greatest villains in all of comic history. I'm going to be sharing with you my personal top 10 Batman villains. Now, when I say top 10 Batman villains, I'm talking about the best villains there are. These are, of all of Batman's rogue galleries, my personal favorites, and the ones that I think deserve the most credit. I'm also going to be giving you an explanation as to why I think they deserve to be on this list, and I'm going to give you the origin of the characters, such as their first appearance, and maybe a brief history about them, as well as, where they are now in comics. Currently in New 52 and all that. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and begin. Batman is the world's greatest detective, and he has to be if he wants to solve the riddles of Edward Nygma, better known as the Riddler. The Riddler was created by Bill Finger and Dick Sprang. The character first appeared in Detective Comics number 140, October of 1948. The Riddler is often seen as a sort of joke, especially after what Jim Carrey did to him in Batman Forever. But don't be mistaken, he's a big threat to Gotham, and he's a dangerous foe for the Batman. The Riddler is one of Batman's smartest opponents, often creating perfect schemes that only fail because of his obsessive-compulsive nature to leave behind a clue. One of the main problems with the Riddler is his characterization. Even the critically acclaimed Batman the Animated Series couldn't do this character justice. He was still really just a joke. However, there are two portrayals of the Riddler that I personally love. The first is his portrayal in the 2004 animated series, The Batman. Now, I know in this one there's a lot of jokes because he looks emo, but trust me, he has a very tragic backstory in this series. And the second characterization is his current portrayal in the Fox live-action series, Gotham. This is definitely the best Riddler you will ever find, and he isn't even the Riddler yet, he's still just Edward Nygma. These are by far my two favorite interpretations of the Riddler, and they are a good representation of what this threat really is. Batman has rarely ever had to take time off. One of the first times he was unable to go out and fight crime was when Bane broke his back. The character's origin was in Batman Vengeance of Bane number 1, January 1993. And he was created by Chuck Dixon, Doug Moench, and Graham Nolan. Bane is not only one of Batman's greatest opponents strength-wise, but he's also far more intelligent than he is often portrayed. With this combination of brute strength and cunning, he is a force to be reckoned with. The Venom serum that Bane uses has also been used to create several different plots and struggles for the Dark Knight. Bane's true identity is also a mystery. He's one of Batman's villains that doesn't have a defined identity. He isn't someone under the mask, he's just Bane. This adds another layer of intricacy to him. Bane is one of Batman's villains that isn't insane, and he's often sent to Blackgate Penitentiary rather than Arkham Asylum when he's defeated. All he wants is to be the strongest, to be better than Batman. Bane is the masked man that broke the bat. Batman strikes fear into the hearts of criminals. But what happens when fear is used for evil? Dr. Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow, is the master of fear. The character first appeared in World's Finest Comic number 3, September 1941. He was created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. Once a renowned professor of psychology and psychiatry with a deep fascination for fear, Scarecrow uses a variety of fear-enhancing drugs and toxins to exploit the fears and phobias of his adversaries. It's a nice parallel to Batman, who uses fear to fight crime, as the Scarecrow who uses fear to create crime. However, prolonged exposure to his own gas has damaged Crane's brain, meaning he can't feel fear for anything except Batman. This is very problematic for him, since he now has an addiction to fear, and he compulsively seeks out confrontation with Batman to satirize it. Yes, Scarecrow is literally addicted to Batman. Just go ahead and think about that for a while. There is nothing more dangerous than a powerful businessman. One of the most powerful and dangerous businessmen in all of Gotham is that of Oswald Chesterfield Cobblepot, better known as the Penguin. Bob Kane and Bill Finger introduced the character in Detective Comics number 58, December 1941. Penguin considers himself to be a gentleman of crime, and he uses his nightclub as a cover for his criminal activities. The Penguin has at times reformed himself and become a legitimate businessman, but he often returns to his criminal ways, all for money. Yes, Penguin is one of Batman's villains that is completely sane, and is in it simply for the money. Originally just a joke villain that used bird gimmicks, the Penguin has evolved into a dangerous foe for Batman and a huge threat to Gotham. Batman has even used Penguin as an informant in the criminal underworld, all in exchange for letting Penguin run his casino in peace. I also extremely love the Fox Gotham series interpretation of the Penguin. Here, he not only wants to be a powerful businessman, but he strives to become the head of Gotham's criminal underworld and become the new king of Gotham. The Penguin is truly a force to be reckoned with, and not someone who simply uses bird gimmicks. Hell has no fury like a woman scorned. Pamela Isley, also known as Poison Ivy, is one woman whose bad side you do not want to get on. Created by Robert Kagner and Sheldon Molkoff, the character made her first appearance in Batman number 181, June 1966. Poison Ivy is an environmental activist, a feminist, and an eco-terrorist that has the ability to control plants due to an experiment that left her with an overdose of plant-based toxins in her bloodstream. She also has the ability to control men with powerful pheromones. She is driven only by her love for her plants, or, as she lovingly refers them to as, her babies. Poison Ivy also has an amazing friendship with Harley Quinn. Their friendship shows a softer side to Ivy, and shows that she cares about more than just plants. Everything that Pamela does, she does for the good of Mother Nature, and for the good of her babies. She's more than just a villain. She's doing what she does to protect what she cares for. Few people have been able to figure out Batman's secret identity. The first person to ever figure out Batman is Bruce Wayne was Professor Hugo Strange. Strange first appeared in Detective Comics number 36, February 1940, and was created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. Professor Strange is perhaps Batman's most intelligent opponent ever. Strange was originally the head psychiatrist at Arkham Asylum. However, rather than trying to cure the inmates, he was instead interested in seeing why they were insane, and pushing them to see what limits he could reach them, make them see just how far they could truly go. Strange's criminal activity was soon discovered, and he was declared insane by his own subordinates. Professor Strange also has a fascination with Batman himself, and he has devoted his life to find out why Batman does what he does. Even after figuring out Batman's secret identity, Strange still struggles to find out the complex psyche of the Dark Knight. What motivates him, what drives him. It has to be more than just the fact that his parents die. There has to be an underlying meaning to why Batman exists. Strange has devoted his life to finding out all the truths that Batman holds. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. These are the famous words of Harvey Dent, better known as TwoFace. Harvey was originally Bruce's friend, and the district attorney of Gotham, until a run-in with the mob, and some acid changed his life forever. The character was created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane, and first appeared in Detective Comics number 66, August 1942. An interesting point about Two-Face is that he already had mental problems before becoming a villain. For years, Harvey Dent struggled with schizophrenia, dissociative identity disorder, paranoia, and manic depressive disorder, more commonly known as bipolarism. The incident that ruined his face had also caused him to give into these issues, thus making him completely reliable on his special double-sided coin that has one of his sides crossed out, and bringing forth the Two-Face that we all know. Harvey Dent's transformation into Two-Face is also one of Batman's greatest regrets. He feels what happened to Dent is his fault, and he owes it to his friend to make sure that he gets better. He also doesn't want to lose anybody the way he lost his closest friend. What happened to Dent was his fault, and now he's gonna pay for it. Forever. Even psychotic villains deserve to fall in love. Dr. Harleen Frances Quinzel, more commonly known as Harley Quinn, is the girlfriend of the Joker. But she's much more than just a tag-along for the Joker, though. The character was created by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm, and first appeared in Batman the Animated Series on September 11th, 1992. Yes, that's right, she appeared in BTAS first, because Batman the Animated Series was well known for being very influential in the comic world, and one of the things that it created was Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is an interesting character overall. Between her abusive relationship with the Joker, her friendship, partnership, and budding romance with Poison Ivy, her membership in the Suicide Squad, and her own independent adventures, Harley Quinn has plenty to love. In fact, I'm currently majoring in psychology, and I would be a damn liar if I said Harley Quinn didn't have an influence in me making that decision. Her backstory as a clinical psychologist really got me interested in psychology and got me to look into that as a possible career. I'm also not embarrassed to admit I had a crush on Harley Quinn for the longest time ever when I was a child. In fact, I might still have a crush on her, actually. Moving on! I mentioned earlier that Scarecrow and Strange were also psychiatrists. So what separates them from Harley? Well, there's the fact that Harley was an innocent person. She became a clinical psychologist at Arkham because she was attracted to extreme personalities, but she sincerely wanted to make a difference in their lives. Scarecrow was always antisocial, and Strange was only interested in using Arkham inmates for his own personal experiments, while Harley wanted to make a difference in their lives. She cared about them and wanted to help them get better. Joker used this innocence, she twisted it, and she managed to get her to fall in love with him. Ever since then, she's been living her life as Harley Quinn. Over the years, Harley has changed a lot, and to become her own character independent of the Joker. Harley Quinn is a character created originally only for the Joker, but is now her own person, her own villain. Who is Batman's most dangerous enemy? That would have to be Ras Al Ghul. Or is it pronounced Ras Al Ghul? Either way, Rage and the League of Assassins, or League of Shadows for you Nolanverse fans, is Batman's most dangerous enemy. Created by writer Dennis O'Neil and artist Neil Adams, the character first appeared in Batman number 232, Daughter of the Demon, June 1971. Raj controls the League of Assassins, a powerful organization with the goal of creating a perfect world balance. Raj matches Batman in strength, intelligence, resourcefulness, dedication, and cunning perfectly. He regards Batman as his worthiest opponent in centuries. He knows Batman's secret identity is Bruce Wayne, but he keeps it to himself because of a shared respect that they have. Raish even wants Batman to take over his position as leader in the League of Assassins. So, if Raz is Batman's most dangerous enemy, and the two of them are so much alike that they're opposites, why isn't he number one? Well, you're about to find out. Before I announce my number one pick, which I'm pretty sure is going to be extremely obvious, I want to mention and give an honorable mention to my original choice for number one. See, originally when I was making this list, I was going to have Joe Chill, the man that murdered Thomas and Martha Wayne, be number one. However, after thinking about it, talking it over with my brother, I sort of came to the conclusion Joe Chill honestly isn't a villain. Sure, in some continuity, there is a conspiracy to kill the Waynes. However, for the most part, Joe Chill was simply a poor man that wanted money. He's not a criminal, and he's definitely not a villain. So, despite the fact that Joe Chill created Batman, I can't say Joe Chill is number one. Now then, let's have a quick recap, because I bet you're all dying to hit that unsubscribe button if number one isn't who you think it is. Number 10, the Riddler, man of many mysteries. Number 9, Bane, the man that broke the bat. Number 8, the Scarecrow, master of fear. Number 7, the Penguin, gentleman of crime. Number 6, Poison Ivy, eco-terrorist of global importance. Number 5, Professor Strange, Gotham's criminal mastermind. Number 4, TwoFace, friend turned foe. Number 3, Harley Quinn, the Joker's independent girlfriend. And number 2, Ras Al Ghul, Batman's greatest foe. Who else would be my number one choice than the Joker? Now, I know some people will still complain that the Joker's overrated and he doesn't deserve to be number one, but let me tell you this. I didn't pick the Joker because he's the most popular, or because he's the most mainstream. In fact, I didn't even choose him because I knew if I didn't, I'd probably lose all my subscribers. I chose him because he's the best. Let's go ahead and look through some of the things he's done that influenced and changed Batman comics if you need proof. For starters, he killed Jason Todd, thus also making Red Hood. He shot and paralyzed Barbara Gordon, leaving her to become Oracle, and forcing her to go through immense character struggles to regain a sense of who she is and her role in life. She lost her identity after this. She was tormented and hurt for years. He psychologically and physically tormented Commissioner James Gordon. He tricked Harley Quinn into falling in love with him and turned her into a criminal. Not to mention, in the New 52, he pushes Harley Quinn into the same vat of acid that turned him into the Joker, just because he thought it would be fun if they matched. He set off the main storyline of the Injustice comics and the Injustice game by causing Superman to destroy Metropolis. He has amazing story arcs, such as the Endgame and the New 52. His identity is a mystery to the point he doesn't even know who he is. You take all of this into consideration, how can he not be number 1? The Joker was created by Bill Finger, Bob Kane, and Jerry Robinson. He first appeared in the debut issue of the comic Batman, April 25th, 1940, and he's been terrorizing Gotham and changing comic history ever since. Number 1 is the Joker, the clown prince of crime, the greatest villain ever. So, there you have my top 10 Batman villains. There are a lot more villains out there, and there are several that I wish I could have put on this list. So, let me know what you thought of this list, as well as your own personal top 10 Batman villains. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time with my next Batman Month special top 10. Top 10 members of the Bat Family.